All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are going to unlock a powerful brain hack, one that could literally change how you learn forever. Okay, so we're going to start with something pretty bold here, because, let's be honest, we've all been told the same lie, that the secret to acing your exams is having perfect notes. You know the drill, highlighting everything, writing summaries, making it all look super neat and organized.
But what if I told you that whole process, the one you've probably spent hundreds of hours on, what if it's actually one of the worst ways to remember anything? Like a complete waste of your time.
So, to really see what does work, let me tell you about this medical student at Cambridge University. This guy literally threw out the rulebook. No more summaries, no highlighting. His entire system, it was built on one simple, kind of radical idea: just write questions. And the result of this crazy experiment, he was consistently ranking in the top 3. He even hit number 1. And we're talking about one of the most competitive universities on the entire planet. So you gotta ask, how on earth did he pull that off?
Well, his secret wasn't some kind of magic. It all boils down to this incredibly powerful method called active recall. And the best part? It's a technique that's super simple, it's backed by science, and it's based on how your brain is actually wired to learn things.
Okay, so here's the key idea, the big difference. Most of us, when we study, we're trying to push information into our brains, right? We read, we watch videos, we listen to lectures. Well, active recall just flips that whole script. It's all about the art of pulling information out.
And this is exactly how it works. You take your notes or your textbook, but instead of just summarizing it all, you turn every single concept into a question. We're talking everything from a key date in history to a complex biological process. And, this is important, you don't write down the answers. Your actual revision time then becomes this kind of game of trying to answer that giant list of questions you made.
And believe me, this guy took it to an insane level. I mean, for just one subject, cardiology, he made 216 different questions. That's not just studying, that's like building a mental interrogation room for every single topic.
So you might be wondering, why is this method so much better than what pretty much everyone else is doing? Well, the answer isn't found in your notebook. It's deep inside the neuroscience of how our memory actually works.
Yeah, see, most of us live over here in the world of passive review. And it feels productive, doesn't it? Your notes look fantastic, the highlighter is practically glowing, you feel like you're just crushing it. But honestly, it's kind of a low-effort illusion. Active recall, on the other hand, is all about actually testing yourself. It's a real workout for your brain.
And this is the central idea right here. That act of struggling to remember something, digging deep to retrieve it, that's what builds strong connections in your brain. Think about it this way. Pushing info in is like walking over a patch of grass one time. But pulling it out, that's like driving a truck over that same spot again and again until you've carved a permanent road.
And look, the evidence for this is just overwhelming. I mean, study after study shows the exact same thing. Just look at this. When they test students a week later, the group that used active recall, the ones who tested themselves, they just blow the other group out of the water. The ones who just reread their notes don't stand a chance. It's not even a fair fight.
Okay, so maybe you're sold on the idea, but how do you actually do this? Like, without getting totally lost? Don't worry, let's break down the step-by-step.
All right, and this is probably the first question that pops into your head. I totally get it. You're quizzing yourself, and you just hit a wall. Your mind goes completely blank. And the temptation, of course, is to just quickly jot down the answer so you don't forget it again.
But here's the rule, and it's a strict one. You absolutely do not write the answer down. Instead, you have to force yourself to go back to the original source, the textbook, your lecture notes, and find it. This part is so crucial because it forces you to rebuild the context around that piece of information, which helps it stick way better for next time. Now, you want the pro tip? The secret sauce that makes this whole thing super efficient? It's a simple color code system. Any question you get wrong, you mark it red, okay? So next time you study, you don't review everything, you only focus on the red questions. Get a red one wrong again, now it gets upgraded to blue. See what's happening? You're automatically laser focusing on your weakest spots. It's brilliant.
And this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it might be the most important part of all. It requires a total shift in your mindset. A shift in what you think learning is supposed to feel like.
Most of us think that learning should feel easy, that it should be smooth, but all the research points in the complete opposite direction. There's this concept in psychology called desirable difficulty, and it means that the struggle, that mental strain you feel when you're trying to remember something, that is the learning process happening in real time.
The best way to think about it is like your brain is a muscle in the gym, right? You don't get stronger by lifting tiny weights that feel easy. No way. You build muscle when you're struggling with that heavy weight, the one that forces your body to adapt. Well, your brain is exactly the same. Active recall, that's the heavy lifting.
So if there's one thing you remember, it's this. Rereading and highlighting feel so productive because they're easy, they're comfortable, but they don't really challenge your brain. Active recall works because it's hard. That feeling of difficulty, that's not a sign you're failing. It's the sign that it's working. It means you're actually learning.
So in the end, the question isn't really about which technique is better. I mean, the science on that is crystal clear. The real question is for you. Are you willing to trade those comfortable, easy habits for a little bit of discomfort to get powerful results you never even thought were possible? The choice is yours.